Welcome back to the Nose Plays and part 6, or is it part 7, of our Vaulter series. I think we're on part 7 actually. I may have miscounted there. Either way, in the last episode, we had spent a good portion of time sieging down the Hisho colony on Pisces, specifically so that we could preserve as much of our manpower as possible. And then we immediately threw that manpower into a naval battle that pretty much wiped all of our manpower out. This is all before the truce was accepted, so we have some options here. Our fleet is severely damaged. These guys are still sieging down this pirate region, although it's going to take significantly longer for them to do this now. And we're in kind of a precarious position because our remaining fleet's damaged. It does not have the capability of really winning another fight at this point without backup. So we're in a tough spot. I am strongly considering trucing out for the next 10 turns or so. What that's going to provide us is a couple of things. Number one, it's going to allow us to retreat without worry of being attacked by these guys. Number two, it's going to give us enough time to finish the quest we're currently running and get this system under our control, which is going to put 2 brand new systems under our control. And then number three, it's going to give us time to rebuild our Navy and probably build a better one. They have already adapted their technologies to counter what we did to their first fleet, which is unfortunate. I was thinking that it wouldn't be quite as effective as it was. I knew we were going to take some casualties, but I didn't think we would outright lose the fight, which we kind of did. It was a minor defeat, as I recall. So that being said, I think the right decision at this point in the game is to truce out for 10 turns, try and recover. Keep in mind that we also have this going on down here, and so we're about to pick up this system as well. So that's another 2 more systems that we're going to pick up in the next few turns, and we're going to have this outpost empire over here hopefully be defended by the Mavros fleets that the minor faction are going to provide us. We'll recover what little bit of our military we have, build some new military, and then depending on the timing of events, we may use that military to pursue wiping out these pirates, which I believe we also recently truced out with.
We will
have not.
always talk if you got dust.
Okay.
You do have some.
I do think we have a hack heading over there that'll push them to wary. Yes. So what we're going to do is we're not going to truce out with the pirates. We're going to try to use a hack to push our standing with them to the point where they're not likely to attack us directly until we've repaired our Navy enough that we're going to be able to do it ourselves. Okay. We're going to go ahead and accept that truce. And my dogs are going crazy because they hear sirens, which is just lovely. And we're going to go ahead and end the turn. Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, now that I've got them under control. Hostile trace detected, so we reached the pirates. We could show the location. We are 3 turns away from completing this. They're going to be more than 3 turns away, most likely, from hacking us. So I'm not too worried about it. They do have a lot of ships here, which we're going to have to be able to deal with at some point. And we just picked up the second medium class ship design, so now we have both medium class ship designs. This is going to be extremely helpful in building a reasonably effective fleet. Medium class ships are far more capable at surviving and dealing out damage, so we'll talk about those guys here in a minute. I'm going to need to pick a new research. Let's zoom out for a second and see where we're at. So we only need one more technology to move up a tier here. I think it makes sense to potentially look at military tech, or there is a tech up here that would be worthwhile that we could grab and just jump ahead while we still have the science party in power, which I don't think is going to change anytime soon. But the one technology that I think would be really helpful for us is actually this technology. And the reason for that is it provides more command points, which means we can actually fit more medium-class ships in an individual fleet. And that's going to be real important because medium-class ships take up a lot more space in a fleet than the small ones do. It's also suggesting maybe that we take behemoth tech. I don't know why it would suggest that if we don't have the primary behemoth tech, which is this guy right here. I don't think you can even build behemoths unless you pick this technology up, which we have not done yet, and I don't know that we're going to do in the near future. So I think in the short term, the technology that I'm most interested in is hardened alloys. We're going to get that relatively quickly, so that's good enough for now. Everybody else is building stuff. Populations are growing and falling. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, population here is going to fall for a little while, and that's just because in the short term, we are mutinous, basically. They're not very happy, and over time, this will correct itself. You can see that minus 75% food is a big problem for this system right now. And actually, because of the big penalty to influence points, it doesn't actually make a lot of sense to rush this, so I'm actually going to move it further back in the queue. We'll get this completed whenever we get it completed. It'll take several turns for the rest of this stuff to get done, but by the time this actually gets finished, perhaps the modifiers won't be quite so negative, and we'll actually get some of the value from it. Getting it too early doesn't make a lot of sense. This is really helpful though. I really like the gathering rates here already, and we could even increase those further, which I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the queue. We definitely want to do that. We knew about that already. We have some probes that we can use. And there were some more curiosities here, quite a few actually. So we'll just keep getting these little by little. Put him back into quiet mode. That's not cool. We were literally a few turns away from actually getting this completed ourselves. The fact that Green has injected themselves into this war between us is really disappointing for me. Well, that is a frustration for sure. I don't know that there's much that I can do to stop them at this point. But Argosie's ready for another trip. Yeah, there goes our quest for that. We did manage to possess 7 strategic deposits. And so we've got this thing, which gives us dust on Empire every turn. So this can basically offset the upkeep cost of your ships to some extent. This doesn't have a lot of value, but it does have some value. One of the things you can do with this is throw it into a ship that you're going to use strictly for defense, just so you can offset the upkeep cost of that ship. But because it costs 3 antimatter and 100 industry to put on the ship, it would take a long time for it to even pay itself back to you. So I don't know that this is ever going to be very valuable. Yeah, that sucks. Not a lot we can do about it. We'll send our ships back. And Um, because our ships actually can recover faster in Lilchem, we could head back over there and put them in the hangar of that system. We get faster repair costs due to this special node being part of our main system now. So we'll see if that actually takes effect. These were the Horatio that we had found. And we're sending into dangerous territory. I thought for some reason that this was the Craver Empire, but it appears to be the Lumeris. So it's not as scary heading over there as I once thought it would be. There is a pirate system down here actually, which is another option. Although at this point I think we are not in the business of teching to make friends with them. I think we're going to fight with them. That being said, while this scout ship's tied up over here, and while this space is relatively safe, we can go ahead and head over this way. They got curiosities on their home system they haven't uncovered. We'll go ahead and snag them. And see, this is a situation where we just snagged 60 dust that they don't get. And we got a quest, it looks like. Oh, that was part of the quest that we were working on, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure what that announcement was all about. Did we have another one? A quest that we were searching for? That's going to last for a couple more turns. Yeah, I'm not sure. There was a quest we were looking for some curiosities, but I think it's over. We already got it, so. We can send out a probe. Maybe send it out. So you can kind of make out something there. Although clearly we've sent something down this star lane and we missed it. So I guess we'll just send it right there and see. This could be another very long wormhole. We're very close to making the entire round. Just in that guy's action. He doesn't have anything else he can do this turn. Yeah, we're gonna get moving. Okay, so this is the one that we took a really long route to get to. We are not going to cancel it. I think this one is fairly safe. Another hacking op to their home system.
The Empire welcomes all who embrace its ideals.
Okay. New luxury resources. The Mavros have been assimilated, so we now have a fleet of 5 total ships, including a sword class ship. So this ship should be able to handle itself. The knives also have 8 movement, so we actually have a reasonable movement on all of these ships, which is going to be really good for us. We also have our scout ship over here now, so we can collect a couple of these curiosities that we hadn't picked up. Oh, goody, antimatter. So antimatter is really good for us. There's also one over here that we can come and grab, so we're going to head over there and look for it. And this region is very, very contested with 1, 2, 3 empires, including us. All on adjacent systems. We'll have to see how reasonable it is for us to keep our systems over here. We definitely want to get modernization on this system, and let's take a look. We have a desert planet and a hot gas planet. So 2 hot planets make AI labor pretty reasonable. Steppes is also pretty good with binary moons. There's some neat stuff we can do with moon technology. The fact that we don't have these basic buildings down, we really should. And I want to see, I only need to build a portal in one of these systems. We have not built it in this one yet. And I'm not sure which of these two is the better one to build portals to, but I'm thinking this one, because this one's going to be harder for the enemies to get to. So if we build a portal here, that's going to take 2 turns. And then this and this will both be really good to get off the ground. And then we can come back and get these science buildings later. But I think this is actually a pretty good spot. Also, we definitely want to colonize this. And just to be sure, they do have xeno-industrial infrastructure and public-private partnerships and sustainable farms. All of those are really good, so I'm going to move this up in the queue. And actually maybe even ahead of the portal, because we're running out of space on here anyways. So yeah, this will be good for now. Also, we want to double check. We are at 8 of 9. And the Argosy is ready for another trip, but I'm not sure where we're going to send her just yet. Once this portal's done, we'll be able to get back over to our main system, and we can consider grabbing Taurus. What do we got over here? A bunch of desert planets and lava planets. Izar has a nice Mediterranean with Hyperion. The fact that nobody's over here yet is interesting to me. It has me a little concerned that maybe the Umbral Choir has jumped over there. But part of the reason that nobody's over there is because we kind of stopped the Hisho's expansion when we blockaded them a few times here and then took Pisces away from them. Where I really want to be is I really want Arcturus. That's the next system I really would like to grab. In the interim, it might actually end up being Pelion, so we can definitely get a little bit more production of Adamantium. We have one system with Adamantium, and we have one system with antimatter. As soon as we get the technology to mine it. Yeah. We're going to wait until our portal system's up to move the Argosy, though, so I'm not too concerned about that. I don't really care to follow that quest. It'll happen when it happens. Let's just get moving. Okay. And I've found a new node. Let's send a probe down that lane. And then continue down that lane. And we'll just keep making rounds. Get more of the galaxy uncovered. More and more, what do we call this? Praise or whatever. Standing with the Sisters of Mercy. We'll probably end up taking this system soon. We have a nice bank of influence at the moment, and that's going to get really big. Although remember, our influence is going to drop when that quest falls off that we're currently getting a bunch from. Let's go back and take a look at our laws. Dirty Hands Act is still worth running. But maybe we should look at a different law. Victory Garden is actually interesting. Plus 500% influence conversion cost on your system or systems. This basically prevents people from taking over your systems with specific conversion, as I recall. I think that's the main function of it. But it also just provides 10% extra food on all systems, which if you have your food buildings down, can be quite effective at getting growth going. If you're having trouble maintaining growth, one of the problems of this is that it does have a pretty substantial cost in terms of influence. We don't really have any other good laws, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the pacifists are still in control. So what I'm going to do is just continue to bank influence so we can do a bunch of stuff here later on. I think we're going to wait one more turn on that. And there's a lot down here that we haven't uncovered, so we'll probably use this guy to finish scouting some of this territory back here. You can see there's a Vodiani system here off the main highway. Of notes, score-wise, we're doing pretty good. It looks like we're actually in second place overall, which at this point in the game isn't terrible. The fact that red is actually leading is interesting because they don't look like their empire is particularly powerful. From where we're at, we are about to run out of dust again. So let's go ahead and head over to the marketplace and let's sell off the luxuries that we're not in use of. So Eden Incense we're not using. Not using that. Not using that. We're not using that. We are using that. I need to sell some of this. Like maybe 100. Maybe 99 would be better. That way we guarantee that we have some. Well, what is our production of this? We're making 26 per turn. And I don't need it this turn, so yeah, just sell it all. Red Sang, we can sell all of that. We're not using this. I think this is the only one we're using, right? Let's come back here and double check. Calgaroos, I could have boosted the Calgaroos. And the Hishu would have been nice. But I'm not too worried about it. The main ones that I do care about are the Pulsos and the Sisters of Mercy at the moment. And more the Pulsos than the Sisters of Mercy, to be honest. We really want our Vaulters actually growing. And some of these other ones I don't care so much for. Remnant are not all that good. The Zivali would be okay. Hiroshima are pacifists. I'd rather not have a bunch of them in our empire. But that should fix our dust problems in the short term. Alright, how is this system looking? We have colonized all the planets in this system, so we have a lot of room to grow. Food is going to be important for that growth, as is maintaining high approval. Perhaps this is a good system for system level 3, but let's actually take a look. We have the resources for a system level 3 upgrade. I want to go to our... Let's see. So the smallest system in our empire right now is actually Yabella. Yabella and Zurak. Both of these systems... Yeah. they don't have as much potential for growth as some of our other ones. It does have a fair amount of population here, though. This is definitely going to produce a lot more growth on this system than others. No, I think we are going to go with... is it Hoth or Aurum? Both Hoth and Aurum are both in a pretty similar position. Yeah, this sounds like a really good system to get this done. The extra food's going to help it fill out. The flat amount is going to help everything else get done faster. It is currently really, really happy. Research would be good. And then we just have a bunch of happiness buildings that we don't really need to worry about at the moment. A trade company could also be good here, but I need to double check where this is at on the map. So Hath is here. I would rather put that trade company in Pisces, to be honest. We really need to get rid of these pirates. Let's go ahead and get our fleets hangared for the moment. And they'll heal on their own. Our hero can probably just go sit in a system for a few turns. Something that's going to get a whole bunch of stuff done right away, which would probably be Zyrek. We're going to get all these buildings built in just a few turns. So we'll go ahead and stick her in here as a governor. She's not going to get much out of it in terms of helping the system put anything out. She's not helping, but she is going to get the XP. And then we'll just have to remember to move her to a fleet. Okay, this finally ended, but because we got the Ariga history building down, notice our influence is still really, really good. So if we move over here, we can see we're getting a bunch of influence from a handful of other things, but our system-wide influence is primarily coming from the 90 we're getting from this system. Oh, we haven't actually finished this yet. Wow, and we're still getting 90. I think that has to do somewhat with our hero, maybe, or the fact that we got the spin projects running. I don't know. That's curious. What is this from? 60 from planet, 18 from approval. Yeah, 60 off of planets. It's just because of all these spin projects we're running. We can actually scale some of these off of spin projects once we get this other building down if we don't really need the approval. Getting a portal up here is going to be really important. Getting that at some point is going to be important. The food building is going to be important. This building, +5 vision range is okay, and it's really, really cheap to get done, so I'm actually going to throw it in front of the queue. It's not really that helpful, but it's practically free, so it's free vision. And then the 25% science, all of those things need to get done. This is also the system where we probably want to spend some time building ships, but we're not going to do that right this second. Alright, we've got one more here. Hyperium, and then we can get this guy out of here. So heading this direction is going to take 4 turns. I have a better plan for him, actually. What we're going to do is we're going to head over here and then look at potentially retrofitting his ship to be better at exploring. We're going to have hardened alloys in 1 turn. Our hacking should have gone off now, so we should have some hacking Yeah. To resolve. Okay. Technology. Let's zoom out again. I just need one more tech here. What are the two techs in this upper part of the tree? So we've got 3 of the 4. So I have access to hyperpacks, which allows us some diplomacy, and also gives us toxic planet colonization, which I think is actually semi-important to us because we do have at least one toxic planet. These are okay, but not something I'm really important at the moment. Unlocks new government types, another approval building, which we don't need. +1 systems occupied before triggering expansion disapproval is actually really good. And then another behemoth tech, which we can't really utilize. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the expansion disapproval thing. And that will increase our system limit from 9 to 10. So we stay above the line there. Also, because it is the final lock here, it's going to give us +1 points on civilian ships. So our civilian ships will move a little bit faster. This is mainly for, again, like the trade ships and whatnot. Speaking of which, this is still too expensive and we're in the process of doing this. We actually have Pisces. I need to see, did we get a trade company here? We did not. So I haven't put down the trade company yet, but I think what I want to do is get this trade company built here. 15 turns, that's a long time. If we get Xeno industrial infrastructure down, that will be a little bit less time. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Alright, if we take that out and we put our trade company, can we put it in Pegasus? I don't think we can because we have a subsidiary here, so it doesn't even give us the option to build it here. This is a system that really doesn't have much going on, so this would be a good place to consider throwing down some... I've already got 2 people over there. Throwing down some new ships. Let's go ahead and look at ship design real quick. Let's remove obsolete modules. We got a lot of stuff here. So what do we got? I've got a movement module that gives me +4 movement. Let's just let's pull everything off of this ship for now and take a look at what. This is mainly a defensive ship. I've only got 2 slots for weapons. I definitely want guns, because that protects us from missile assaults to some extent. We haven't seen large ships yet, and so defensive modules I got 3. Let's do 2 armor modules and 1 shield module, just to give us a little bit of defense against shields. And then for movement, our movement is only 2. I think we're going to go with double ram scoops again. That gives us up to 8 plus the bonus movement. And then we have 1 extra increased chance to be targeted, repair ship after each phase. This is actually really, really good. So we get a percent of our hit points repaired between phases and increased chances of being targeted. This is really, really good and helps prevent our weaker ships from getting targeted quite as much. So we're going to throw that on there. This makes this a little bit expensive. So we can't build too many of these. In fact, we can only build one of these. We are making 4.5 per turn in one of our systems. Let's take a look at our systems real quick. Alright, let's get to Zurich and let's see about getting some better mining tech. How long is that going to take? 3 turns. Let's throw that up in the queue just to get this mining going a little bit faster. Pretty happy with that overall. We got that figured out already. We do have an empty construction here. This was another place where we were thinking of building a trade company. It is kind of on the front lines, which is less than ideal, but maybe we should build some long ships. This, if I'm not mistaken, does have a portal. We went ahead and preemptively put a portal on there because it was in the front lines and I knew I was going to need to get stuff over there. I think we're definitely using a kinetic enhancer. Let's see, we need at least 1 ram scoop. If we do 2 ram scoops and a kinetic enhancer, that really limits what we can do defensively, which kind of sucks. Some extra health. Some guns. I think we go with double missiles. This kind of limits the cost. Construction is 21 titanium. That is expensive. So we're not going to be able to put this many titanium modules on here. These are really expensive at 4 apiece. And this one is super expensive at 6. What if we instead used, say, swarm missiles? Let's go with this design for now. This is a really cheap design, but that means we can afford to build more of them. Because we are kind of running a little low on titanium at the moment. This is going to cost 13 per turn. We do have a lot, but we're going to want to build a lot of these. Is AI labor worth grabbing? We do have sterile here. We also have sterile here and here, but we don't have anybody over there yet, so I don't think so. I think this is what we'll do for now. Alright, so we have some options here. We're going to falsify logs with the pirates.
We will always talk if you got dust.
So this should give us
You
some
do
time.
have some.
You have neutral standing with the pirates. Only nearby fleets will attack if a mark is placed on you. So they're not going to attack our ships if we happen to run past them. Notice that we got another system, so the cost of this went up again. But we definitely have the output. And another hero. This is timely. Before we grab another hero, let's take a look at what heroes we have. So I have a scientist, a militarist, and ecologist. So we're not really looking at a new political party. We're mainly going to be looking at whatever hero is going to be the most beneficial. It's hard to pass up another Vaulter hero because of the fact that they can really help our outputs on a few things, but let's see, we've got a Guardian. Guardians focus on fleet warfare and industrial production. Carry more weapon modules. Seeker's a balance between weapon and support. And a counselor is mainly going to be oriented towards support. I'm not familiar with this guy's tree, so what have we got here? Plus approval. Plus food and industry. Just straight up per planet. So systems with lots of planets could really benefit from this. That's interesting. Minus 40% dust on system. Upkeep cost. Okay, the upkeep cost of the system is slashed. This is a lot of health. And then just this normal tree. Alright, that's interesting. We know the Vaulter skills are pretty good. With the bonuses to strategics. This is interesting. If political leader on Senate, 5% science per strategic deposit on all systems. That could be a lot of science, especially if you focused on systems that have strategic deposits. He's not going to be in the party. He's an ecologist. We're almost certainly not going to utilize him for that. What does this guy have? Okay, he's the United Empire. The mining is actually pretty interesting. There's definitely some places where we have a lot of hot planets. This guy could make a fairly good governor. He's not likely to be a political leader. We could also make him a fleet commander. He is good for that. Health and damage on fleet are both really well suited for making him a military. I think we're going to take the Guardian, and we're going to have a second military commander that can take control of a fleet. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do with him, he's going to have some points to spend. I'm going to put 2 points over there. And what this is going to do is this is going to level up the minor faction fleets because we have no way of retrofitting their weapons. So the only way to improve them in the game is to level them up. This will allow those fleets to level up over the course of the next 20 to 30 turns that we use them, and potentially be a little bit more powerful than they otherwise would be. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put him in charge of that minor faction fleet and in defense of that southern system that we just took advantage of. We also need to adjust his ship real quick. We need to get his fleet up around 8 for speed. That's not going to cut it. That'll give him up to 6 with a little bit of dodge. That's probably okay. We currently have 40 of that. Alright, defensively, we'll just give him one of each of the best that we have. Offensively, I think we're just going to split him up similarly to our last hero. And then probe-wise, what would be useful? We could give him more ship evasion with a lower chance to be targeted by enemies. Or we could go double ram scoop. Or we could go kinetic enhancer to give him extra damage and crit chance. I think this is probably good for now. Alright, where was that fleet at? It's all the way down here. These guys are now there, so now we can assign him. And that'll give him a little experience. And that's definitely helpful. We definitely needed some more antimatter. The Argosy is ready to move. I don't know what that's about. It said we had 0 dust to repair a ship. I know the Argosy was damaged previously, but... Alright, and then this fleet can just head back over here. And just kind of blockade the system and defend it for the short term. That has finally fallen off. Was this a system we cared about? I don't think it was. This ship was heading back here to be retrofitted. We got stopped by a blockade.
I shall defend the faith, whatever that requires.
They don't like the fact that we have moved into their territory and they're going to probably start a war with us. We've already taken care of him and we got the antimatter. What did we find over here? Ooh, that's not good. Pirates. They're not likely to attack us right now. So one option we do have is if we did want to pay that 1,000 influence, we could immediately teleport this back to one of our other systems. However, I don't have any other ships over here, and I really need to get some more scouting done. Do I need to... Let's send a probe out this way. There's got to be a system here. You can see a big bubble. I don't know that our probe's actually going to catch it. I probably should have aimed that a little better, but... Alright, we'll keep moving. And... we do have a hacking operation available to us. I think we want to continue to hack the pirates in the short term, and we'll decide maybe what kind of hack we want to do with them later on. Do I have a good way of... Nope. I don't have a good way of getting my approval up over here. This would actually be helpful on a system that far out, give us more vision of the nearby region. Maybe even vision of the pirates for that matter. New solo quest. +2 on foreign population. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Alright, so this has been completed and now we're way, way back up. This was at 90 before, and now it's significantly higher. A big part of that is the 205 we're getting from the Aurigan History Center, but it's also amplifying everything else because of the percent bonus. So this is actually a really important building. And especially if you put it in a capital city where you have a lot of spin projects running successfully, you can really get a system off the ground because of that.
I shall defend the faith, whatever that requires.
Alright, they're attacking us with tribute that we're not paying them, so they're mad about it. Okay, this guy had a really good ability here. Approval. Yeah, I guess we'll just go with that for now. None of these other ones really made a lot of sense, right? Just the approval, maybe? I guess before I make this decision, what system is he even governing? Wow. All of our approval is really, really high, so I guess it doesn't matter. He's in our home system, that's right. Let's go ahead and give him the extra influence then. And again, that's going to set our numbers even higher. More Calgaroos. I need to check Pegasus. We now have crossed that line. We could assist these guys, or we could get some of them to join us this way. I believe that we're the fastest on this, and I'm going to go ahead and make it even a little more fast. 12. Once we get up to the max, we can just pay influence to pay these guys out. I believe that should happen relatively quickly. Alright, and we have a situation now where we've successfully hacked their home system. We can do a number of things. We could embed a sleeper. We could potentially wound a hero, though it doesn't look like they have a hero on this system. We could influence politics. Create a backdoor. A backdoor would be helpful and handy in hacking their other systems, but it's fair chance that it would get discovered. I think what I'm going to do is embed a sleeper, and that's going to give me vision of their system. Oh, that was Niall. Okay. I actually would have preferred to put a backdoor here. I thought we had actually hacked this system. Oh well. One sleeper here is, I guess, somewhat useful. It does give me vision of the ships they have on this. Objective achieved. Plus 50% science on system with a colonized unique planet and a governor. What system was that? Raise it to level 7. Oh, okay. So we raised him to level 7, and we now have this. Incubator idea. What is the incubator idea? I don't see that as an option here. Is this just a straight up effect? Plus 50% on a system with a colonized unique planet and a governor. Okay, so all unique planets that are colonized, which we do have one here. I think this counts. Is it actually showing up here? I can't tell because of the way that percent things get tacked on. Yeah, it's hard to say. I did want to look at Pegasus and make sure that our Calgaroos were on fertile planets, which he is not. Kind of move him over like that for now. Keep those Calgaroos happy. Over here we can run a spin project if we wanted to, but I don't think we really need to at this point. There really isn't a better thing to run though. I think we'll just leave it as it is. Pegasus could also get another one of those done in 6 turns. And let's just take a look at how much longer we have on this truce.
We may be...
The truce is for 5 more turns. So yeah, we want to get some stuff done here in the next 5 turns. What other systems could be building something? You could build us another... Longship, maybe? Yeah, that'll happen in 4. Aurum could build us another longship. Nerad is already building a bunch of longships. We could take one of these off, since we're building them in other places. And let's go ahead and move one of these up here. That should be good. That'll keep us busy for a little while and have us a reasonably sized military to start figuring out what we're going to do with once we hit this next phase of the game. Okay, right, we got another scan. So I can scan from here to here in 11 turns and put a backdoor in again, and that backdoor might be able to get to Ceres. We could also consider putting more sleepers in, but once again, we're out of money. I'd really like to see a better breakdown of the cost of everything. But that being said, let's just go ahead and sell a bunch of stuff again. So we can sell all of that, all of that, all of that. Dark glitter. I'll go ahead and boost the Zavali and then sell what's left of it. Alright, we're back up to 900 again. Also, we should be able to now move the Argosy. We're going to have a portal here in one turn. The Argosy has a movement of 11. Could actually give it a movement of 14. But I'm not sure how the Ram Scoop ability stacks. I think 11 with a 75% distance travel per point of movement is actually more than 14. So I think we're going to leave it as is. And he can just move there for now. It looks like we have an enemy arc incoming. This could be problematic. I may actually want to disband just to be safe, because that arc could potentially attack the Argosy before I could get it to move next turn. Now might also be another good time to check with the Umbral Choir and see what they're up to. We've got another technology.
Creature, you know we watch from the shadows.
They're not interested in peace. But are they interested in quadronics? No, they're not interested in quadronics. Are they interested in adamantium?
Okay.
Kind of. We don't have any modules that are utilizing adamantium at the moment, so I'm okay to give this. So adamantium's a yes. Is Jadonics any good to you? Not really.
Okay.
What about this stuff? Oh. Antimatter? Yeah, not enough. Alright, so we still can't get peace with these guys. Could we get map sharing? They're less... So if we gave you all of our adamantium, would you share your map with us? Not quite. Do you like deciduous trees? No. Do you like titanium?
Okay.
No. Do you like Hyperium? You like it more, but not enough to push even just sharing your map across the line. Well, that makes sense since they have a lot of this and a lot of this. Yeah, so the things that they care about the most are the things that they don't have significant quantities of that they're gathering. Unfortunately, what can I get from you guys? Nothing. Can you give me a bunch of dust again? Give me like 1,000 dust. Wow. Okay, well this was rather boring and unproductive, so we're just gonna get away from that again. A new technology would be very helpful. Technology-wise, I'm not really sure. I mean, military-wise, I have some ideas. And we definitely need to be pursuing some new ideas. This is advanced swarm missiles. This would be a solid improvement over the ones that we're currently running. Boarding pods are also interesting, but I'm probably going to skip tier 1 boarding pods and go straight to champions pods, which are a faction specific boarding pod tied directly to the vaulters. This is a vaulter specific tech, and this is a unique version of this advanced boarding pod. Privateer fleets become cheaper, new tactics. The blast effect. Alright, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our carrier class ships now. And that's going to give us the future advantage in military tech. It's also going to take 6 turns, but that's not a lot. Alright. Their ship passed over us, so we're safe to bring the Argosy out now. And because the Argosy can teleport, we should be able to get to any system that has a teleport. You can find those rather quickly in this view right here. Any system that has this little disintegration symbol has a teleporter built. So we could teleport to Nereid or to Pisces. Either one of those would be fine. We wanted to try to get to Pelion, which I think is where we're going to go next. Current output on that is 4 and an 8. Yeah, that will double the output on Adamantian and our Empire. It's not a great system, but we didn't have time to grab Arcturus yet. So it's probably as good as any. The question then is, what's the safest route? And it's probably to Nereid. So we'll go there first. And then we'll head over here in 4 turns. We should not get attacked by pirates even if we get blockaded by them.
We are Riftborn. We come into your cosmos on a mission of survival.
And we've discovered the Riftborn, okay. We're going to go ahead and blockade this system. And I'm going to send a scout probe out that way for now. And we've hit another blockade with our pirate ship. I'm debating whether to keep this radar here or move it. I think what we may end up doing is grouping our two radars together and trying to sneak down into this territory once they've both been upgraded. We have a couple of curiosities we can search. Adamantian load and a minor civ, or not minor civ, a minor civilization remains. The analytical engine, that's not bad. A nice little dust building we can put up somewhere. And then we should be able to move on our way next turn. I got one more. I'm going to go ahead and send it out here and uncover this. That's growing at a decent rate. And I think this is probably a good place to go ahead and stop for today. We didn't get nearly as much done as I wanted to. And this is one of the reasons why I don't keep making videos past about turn 60, because there's just so much to do that it gets really difficult at the pace that I typically play to get a decent amount of stuff done, and I just don't think it's very exciting for viewers. But if you are continuing to enjoy this, I'll consider going another couple of videos on this particular game, and then very soon we'll be starting a new one. Also, if you haven't seen already, I had a special announcement that due to my 200 subscriber joining the channel, I've decided to go ahead and try my hand at something a little different. And so it will be an opportunity for you guys to interact with me in a way that you haven't before, where I will be playing games chosen by you guys on my YouTube channel every Tuesday is what I'm going to try and plan on doing. And you can jump into a Twitch live stream with me, give me some in real-time feedback on what's going on, discuss ideas with me, and just have a little bit more direct input with me in those videos and on those days that I do live stream. And we'll give that a try for a little while and see how that goes. So please join me at the Nose Plays Games on Twitch if you haven't seen that yet. And I'm going to try to do every Tuesday at a minimum. We're going to try to do at least 1 to 2 hours of live stream for you. That being said, this has been the Nose Plays. I hope you guys are having a great day, and see you next time.